Hey, it's Vicky, and today I am coming back at you with another book haul revisit. I know, I just did one in April, but I guess back in 2022, I was just buying books like crazy because I had another book haul in May of 2022. So we're going to be looking at that book haul in this video. And for those of you that have never seen these videos or don't know what I'm talking about, this is a series sort of that I've been doing for quite a while on my channel where I look at old book hauls and I look and see what I purchased, what books I've read from that haul, which ones I haven't, and then if there are any unread books, which typically there are, I pick one and I read it the following month. So in this case, I'm going to be looking at a book haul from May 2022, and if I have any unread books on that haul, I'm going to pick one and read it next month in June. So before I get into the video though, I do want to just point out, in case it's noticeable, I did get Invisalign. I've had it for about a week, like a week and a half now. And so I'm still sort of deciding if I should film with my trays in or if it's too distracting or whatever. Because I'm getting used to talking with them in, but I sometimes will still sound like just then. The S's are a little tricky sometimes. Bear with me as I try to figure this out, how I'm going to proceed with filming, because I am going to be doing this whole Invisalign thing for about a year to a year and a half. So it's gonna be with me for a while. So yeah, now that we've sort of got that out of the way, yeah, let's just get into the book haul. The next one that I got is one that I got because of my friend. Because she happens to love these cozy mysteries, and they're ones that I've seen and I want to try. And so when I saw one at the sale, and this is I think it's the third one in the series, but my friend told me you don't have to read them in order to like enjoy them and stuff. But anyways, it's the, I don't know, does it have a series name? I don't know, but anyways, this one is called Muffin Murder. And it's basically like a cozy mystery, and then throughout, because the main character I believe is a baker or like owns a bake shop or something, and so it's like a cozy mystery series that has recipes scattered throughout the book. And my friend said that she's read like a ton of them, and she said that they're just like, yeah, they're just kind of cozy, funny, even though they're like murder mysteries, and she said the recipes are really good too. Okay, so I did read Blueberry Muffin Murder. I actually read it for a vlog series that I started doing on my channel, where I read a book with recipes in it and then I make the recipes. So I did read Blueberry Muffin Murder, and I believe I gave that one 3 stars. I enjoyed it. And I've also read another book from the series since then, and did another vlog series surrounding that book. And yeah, the recipes coincide with the story. It was a cozy mystery, so yeah, you're dealing with murder and stuff, but it's very lighthearted and just very fun. And yeah, it was a fun vlog to do, and it's a series I do enjoy. I haven't done it in a while because I'm still kind of on the hunt for more books that have recipes to sort of continue that series. So yeah, I enjoyed Blueberry Muffin Murder. So that is one for the red pile. Then I picked up a couple of middle grade reads, some of them for Leia to read, or for us to read together, but also because I just want to read them, or for nostalgia purposes or whatever. And that is Bridge to Terabithia by Katherine Paterson. And this is about, I believe it's a boy, is it a boy and a girl? Yes, that become friends, and they sort of both have imaginations, and they create this world called Terabithia. And then basically something very tragic happens, and they have to deal with that tragedy. Okay, so I did read Bridge to Terabithia. I think I read it last year during middle grade March, and it was a good book. It does hit pretty hard in the end, without giving away too many plot points. But yeah, it is kind of hard hitting in the end. But yeah, I thought it was good. It's one that I think I would have my kids read, if they wanted to, of course. It's one I would recommend because it does deal with topics that every person in the world at some point has to deal with, without getting too detailed. So yeah, I thought it tackled some tough themes in a very good way. And yeah, I liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars. I can't remember exactly, but I do know that I enjoyed it. And the last middle grade one that I picked up is another one that I haven't read, but it is on my 100 Epic Reads poster. So eventually, hopefully, I will get to it. So when I saw it, I picked it up, and that's The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster, I think is how you say it. And this one I think is about a little boy who one day this toll booth appears in his bedroom, and it takes him to all these crazy places, and he kind of learns that life is pretty fun and exciting. Okay, so I did read The Phantom Tollbooth because funnily, is that even a word? Interestingly enough, I did this book haul in like May of 2022, and I want to say it was July or August, I was doing another 100 Epic Reads video for that series, and I pulled 2 books out of my little cup, and one of the books was The Phantom Tollbooth, which was so weird because I had just hauled the book. So I decided to read it then, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun book that played a lot with words and with time and stuff like that. And it was just a book about, I guess, handling boredom, if I remember correctly, and how to just like make use of your time when you're a kid and you're bored, you know? And I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was a lot of fun. I can't remember if I gave it 3 or 4 stars, but I know I did enjoy it. Okay, the next couple of books that I grabbed are some classics that I would like to read. The first one, I was very on the fence about picking this up because I've tried this author before, wasn't thrilled with what I read, but I do want to give her another try because she is so well known and so beloved, and people just really love her. And that is Jane Austen. And so I picked up Persuasion because of like the ones that they had there. This one seems like it was a little bit shorter, and it seems like a story I might be able to, I might be interested in. I'm not entirely sure yet, but it's about a woman who was engaged to be married, and then it was called off, and the person that her suitor or whatever was like below her status, and now she's like getting to be like spinster age, and somehow like he comes back into the picture. I don't really know. I have not read Persuasion, but just back in March I did read another Jane Austen book. I read Emma, and I actually didn't hate it. I gave it 3 stars, so I am ready to give Jane Austen more chances. So Persuasion is one that, I mean, I still have it on my shelves. Obviously I haven't read it, but I still think I want to give it a try. So yeah, that is the first one for the unread pile. The next classic I picked up is one that I'm really interested in reading, and it is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And this one is about a Black woman in the 1930s. And so you kind of follow her, I think it starts out when she's a girl and kind of goes through into her adulthood and kind of like her travels around the South in America, and just what it's like to be a Black woman in the 30s in that area. Okay, so I did read Their Eyes Were Watching God. I think I read that one last year also. And I thought it was good. It was one that I listened to on audio, and I think that it was definitely a great audiobook because the way that the dialogue is written in the book, it might be hard to read it physically, but to hear it, it was great. I loved listening to the characters talk, using that sort of, they have like sort of a southern accent, and it's written that way too, sort of like phonetically. So reading it is kind of, might be challenging, but listening to it was great. And I think I gave it 4 stars. I liked the characters, I liked, like I said, the dialogue, I liked the writing. Overall, it was a solid book. And then the last classic I got, I'm almost ashamed to say I have never read this author in this book, but it's true. And this is another one that is on my Epic Reads poster, and it's one that even if it wasn't, I would definitely want to check it out eventually. It's always been kind of on my list of things to read, and that is Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. Yes, I've never read any Ray Bradbury. Please don't come after me, Carol, from Carol Marie Reads. I know she loves him, and every time she talks about him, I'm like, why haven't I read him yet? What am I doing? So yeah, this was there, and I'm like, you know what, this is on my kind of like bucket list, so I picked it up. And this one is about a guy who's a fireman, and basically his job is to burn books. All right, so I'm ashamed to say I still have not read Fahrenheit 451 or any Ray Bradbury, so I know that's terrible. But obviously it's still a book I want to read. It's one of those like very well-known classics, and yeah, I'm still ashamed to say I haven't read it. So that is now 2 for the unread pile. The next one I got from the sale is I want to say this is like I don't think it's a thriller. I think it's just kind of like a maybe suspense novel, murder mystery sort of book. But it's by an author that I've been wanting to try, and that's Attica Locke, and this is Bluebird. And it's about a character named Darren Matthews. He is a Texas Ranger, a black Texas Ranger, and basically the book is he has to try to solve these 2 murders. The murder of a black Chicago lawyer and a local white woman in Texas, and somehow they're related, and he has to kind of figure out what happened. Okay, I did read Bluebird, and honestly, like the plot, even like me reading the synopsis, I don't remember it. Like I know I read it. I want to say I read it in 2022 sometime, but I do not remember much about it. So I think I'm pretty sure I enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure I gave it 3 or 4 stars, but other than that, I've sort of forgotten it, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So that's another one for the read pile though. I now have 5 read and 2 unread. And of course, anytime I go to a book sale, I always look for Stephen King, even like mass market paperbacks, whatever I can find. And unfortunately, they didn't have a whole lot, or like what they did have was stuff that I already read or already own. But they had one that I haven't read that I definitely am going to read, and that is Black House by Stephen King and Peter Straub. And this is a sequel to the book The Talisman, which I have read and really enjoyed. So I don't really know what's going to happen in this sequel or anything. I'm assuming that because The Talisman centered around a young boy, that maybe in the sequel he's grown up. I don't know. Okay, so I read Black House I want to say last year, and I hated it. I unhauled it. I'm like, I don't even want this book on my shelves. I don't care that it's Stephen King. I did not like it at all. I thought that the story was too long. I thought the story was pretty boring. The writing, and I don't know if it was because, you know, he co-wrote this book with Peter Straub, so I don't know whose writing it was that was annoying me, but it was somebody's, and there was parts where a specific phrase, I can't remember what the phrase was, but it was repeated many, many times throughout the book, and it was stupid, and I hated it, and it just, every time I read it, it just made me mad. So I did not like this book. I think I gave it like 1.5, 2 stars, not enjoyable. The Talisman was fine. I liked The Talisman, but the sequel, no. All right, I have 3 more books to share with you guys, and these ones were just like random books I picked up like when I was just like out and about. And oddly enough, the next one is also from Peter Straub, and it is Ghost Story. And this one, I think it's about like a group of old guys that get together and they start like telling each other scary stories or something. I don't know. I haven't read Ghost Story, but I still own it and I still want to read it. And oddly enough, I think if I look at my my 24 and 24 list that I had Leia make me, I think it's on there. Yes, it is. So yeah, I still want to read Ghost Story, and I'm supposed to read it this year anyway, so we shall see. The next one that I picked up is one I saw like randomly at Target, and I like this author. I've read a short story collection by this author and thought it was pretty good. And so when I saw this and read the synopsis, I was like, okay, why not? And that is Little Girls, A Ghost Story by Ronald Melfi. And this one is about a woman who basically returns to like her childhood home after I believe her father passes away, and it wasn't like a happy place. She doesn't really have a lot of happy memories there. Her dad was very cold and distant towards her, and so, you know, the house doesn't give her warm and fuzzy feelings, but she returns there with her daughter, and her daughter befriends this little girl who reminds her a lot of a little girl that she played with as a child when she lived there, and she's pretty sure it's a ghost. I have not read Little Girls, but just that synopsis sounds super awesome. Like, it has all the things that I like in a horror novel. It has a creepy house. It has the main character has baggage. There's possibly ghosts. That just ticks so many boxes for me. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this, that it's on this list right now. And the last one that I have to show you guys is one that I picked up at, I want to say Barnes & Noble. And I couldn't believe the price of this. I was so happy because I have been really wanting to read this book, but it's only available in hardcover right now, and hardcovers are expensive, but they had it for $12, so I picked it up very quickly. And that is The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Honorée Fannin Jeffers. And this is a bit of a chunky book, but it has interested me because it is a coming-of-age sort of story about a black woman who was like born and raised mainly in the North in America, but would spend her summers in the South with her relatives. And so she kind of got a taste of both of those sort of worlds and how they were different, but how they were also like in some ways and stuff like that. I read The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois earlier this year and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It's a great book. I listened to it on audio. The audiobook was awesome. It just had so many just great things about it. I loved the characters. I loved the coming of age. I loved the themes. There was just so many things about that book that I just absolutely loved. So yeah, I can't recommend that one enough. All right, so the book haul ended up having, I can't math right now. I had 7 books that I did read, and then I had 4 that I didn't read. So I had Persuasion by Jane Austen. I had Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I had Ghost Story by Peter Straub and Little Girls by Ronald Malfi. So right off the bat, I'm going to eliminate 2. I'm going to eliminate Persuasion only because I just read Emma back in March, and though I am looking to read a couple more classics this year, I'm just not feeling a classic at the moment. And I just read a Jane Austen, so I would rather like save this for another time. And then I'm also going to eliminate Fahrenheit 451 only because I'm hoping that it'll come up on a 100 Epic Reads video. And I would rather read this and vlog that when that happens. So hopefully it'll happen soon. But until then, I'm gonna set this one aside as well. So that leaves me with Little Girls and Ghost Story, both horror novels. And interestingly enough, both of these books are part of my 24 and 24 that I was doing this year, the list I made. Well, I shouldn't say I made, that Leia made. These were 2 of the books that she picked for me. So either way, whichever one of these I read, it's gonna help me with my 24 and 24 goal. So if I'm just looking at plain like vibes and synopsis, like which one is calling my name right now, it's definitely Little Girls. That synopsis just grabbed me, and there's just so many things about it that sound perfect. And honestly, when this came through, I was like, I think that's gonna be the pick, regardless of what other books come up. So yes, I am gonna be reading Little Girls by Ronald Malfi. Let me know if you have read this and what you thought of it. Because yeah, like I said in the video, I have only read a short story collection by this author, and I thought it was pretty good. I remember, if I remember right, the first story just like knocked me off my feet. So I'm hoping that this one has all the good creepy vibes, that it has the good writing, that it has the interesting characters, that it has the emotion and all of that. So yeah, this is it. So let me know if you read it, what you thought of it. Let me know if you think I picked wrong. Should I have picked one of the other books? I don't know. Let me know. And I guess that's it. So that's gonna go on my June TBR, which I will be putting together soon. because I do have a couple other books that I was kind of putting aside for the start of summer. So yeah, I guess that's it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you're having a great week, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.